Hi, I'm Kyle Leary, grain marketer, Crystal Valley. I'm going to give a quick update on the USDA report that came out here today. So it was a pretty bearish report, unfortunately. USDA corn yield, they raised 2.4 bushels to a new record national yield of 177.3. This beat the old record of 176.6. So this really caught the market off guard. We weren't looking for any increase in yield. And it was actually the biggest jump in January yield since 2009. I did have a little bit of good news though. Helping offset that increased yield was a decrease of 580,000 harvested acres. So in total, production only increased 108 million bushels, which without that decrease in acres, production would have actually increased 207 million bushels. So that would have hurt even more. If we bring this increased production into the 23-24 balance sheet, it brings carryout up to 2.16 billion bushels, or 14.8% stocks to use. We saw a 25 million bushel increase in feed demand and a 50 million bushel increase in ethanol demand, so that helped offset some of this increased production. But overall, that 2.16 billion bushel carryout still gives us the highest carryout since 2018 and 19. So there's a lot of corn out there. December 1st stocks obviously came in a little bit higher than expected with increased production at 12.17 billion bushels. In South America, not a ton of huge changes down there. Argentina was left unchanged as expected at a 55 million metric ton crop. Brazil production was lowered 2 million metric tons to 127 million. That was still 2 million higher than the average trade estimate. But we got a lot of time in Brazil. They're only growing about 25% of their corn right now. The other 75% will get planted as second crop corn or their safrinha crop once they're done harvesting beans. So we'll see how that plays out in the coming months. We did see world stocks was also a bearish surprise in the report. They came in 10 million metric tons higher than last month, 12 million higher than the average trade estimate. So that came in at 325 million. So same thing, the highest levels we've seen since 2018. Moving on to soybeans, the bearish news unfortunately continued. We saw yield increase by 0.7 bushels to 50.6 bushels per acre, higher than even the highest end of trade estimates, but that wasn't a new record or anything like the corn was. So when we take that increased production into the balance sheet for 23-24, we come up with a 280 million bushel carryout, or 6.7% stocks to use. This was 37 million bushels higher than the average trade estimate, and we didn't see any increases in demand to offset that higher production. So bean carryout, not quite as high relative to corn as we've seen in the past years, but still starting to inch its way a little higher. Argentina production was up a little bit, up 2 million metric tons to 50 million metric tons. Brazil, we did see a small drop there, down 2 million to 157. This was actually down 3 million from last year, but when you combine the increase in Argentina crop, they're actually going to have a 22 million metric ton bigger crop than last year, just because Argentina's crop was so poor last year from the drought. We also saw some increased acres in Brazil this year. So, and then the DS1 bean stocks, just slightly higher than expected at 3 billion bushels. So not anything too crazy there. But overall, unfortunately, it's a pretty bearish report. I think we got to be careful to not put our heads in the sand. If you think back to 2018-19 where some of those prices were, there's certainly a lot of room for volatility here in this market yet. So I would recommend, getting with your marketer, get some offers working out there. We have some premium style type contracts. We don't like the prices today. Way to increase those a little bit or get some floors on. But I just think we want to have a plan here so this thing doesn't get too far away from us. We still do have time with Brazil's second crop corn and US. If we have any weather issues there, but we just want to make sure we're defending our balance sheet and margins. If you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of me or any of the other marketers. Thank you.